are here assistant in anything that become your problem. Together, we are greatly honored to be of service to help you experience the success of the first SIC parallel session. Please allow me to inform you a number of rules and regulations to have our sessions in order. First, we will have 3 sessions each day. The session will start with a small introduction about our speakers before the prepared YouTube videos are ready to be viewed by all of us. The video will take around 12 to 15 minutes each only. During the play of the videos, participants are invited to post any questions or comments in the Zoom chat rooms by mentioning to which researcher the question is addressed. As an alternative, if it is better to ask the question directly, then we suggest you to use the raise hand facility in the Zoom room. When the time is available, we will choose who should direct the questions. All presenters and audience are encouraged to be on camera and use the virtual backgrounds of light in the chat facility during the Q&A session. The Q&A session will roughly last around 15 minutes. And when you are asking a question, we ask that you first mention your name and from which institution you are. Make sure that you ask one short, clear, and concise question. If you think that the question is too long or not clear enough, you may need to cut short your questions so someone else may use the time to ask some other question. In case there are no questions from the audience, however, we will invite our reactors to react to the presentation by giving suggestions or questions to the researchers. We hope everyone will have a successful presentation and the Q&A will benefit everyone. So now, dear presenter and audience, without further ado, let us begin our first session. Now, let me introduce the first presenter to present the research. So, Mr. Michael C. Guyamin, PhD, is with us in the room right now. And he will be presenting on the topic of microplastic in the water of IMUS River. Now that we are all ready, please make sure that you mute yourself in the room so we may enjoy viewing our first presentation, YouTube presentation. Sorry. I'm sorry, before that, let me tell a little bit of biodata of Mr. Michael. Mr. Michael C. Guyamin, PhD, is an associate professor in the La Salle University, thus Marinas under the biological science department. He has been teaching biological science courses in the LSUD for almost 19 years. He finished his undergraduate degree, BS Biology as a cum laude in 1999, and then master's degree in biology in 2005, and lastly, a Doctor of Philosophy in Biology in 2019 in the LSU. His research interests are in the fields of biodiversity and environmental science. So let us watch his YouTube presentation.
A pleasant day to all of you. Allow me to share a part of our research in super microplastics in super. The persistence of plastics and its adverse effects to organisms and human health has become an international environmental concern. Plastic waste is generated by a wide range of human activities. Plastics are not biodegradable, but they break down into smaller pieces. Plastic pieces smaller than 5 mm down to the smallest and Now, most of the hundreds of millions of pieces of plastic in the oceans are microplastics. Rivers serve as natural channels for plastics to go to the ocean, with waste often entering rivers both inadvertently and deliberately. The extent of plastic pollution within these channels, from headwaters to river mouths, remains underexplored. Plastic entering the water affects water quality, threatening even food safety. IMUS River is one of the 6 major rivers located in the province of Cavite. These major rivers of Cavite drain into Manila Bay, one of the Philippines' pollution hotspots. Rapid urbanization and economic development in Region 4A, also known as Calabar Zone, in which Cavite is included, have had a substantial impact on levels of pollution in major rivers. IMUS River has a length of 38.4 kilometers, originating in the north of Cavite City, passing through the municipality of Sinang, city of Dasmariñas, and city of IMUS, and draining from the city of Widodo and the municipality of Kawit into the Norway, leading to which runs from the Sinang to the Street in Dasmariñas, that connects with the IMUS River in Barangay Pasumbayog in Dasmariñas. Another, the Galutot River, that joins the IMUS River in Bacolod City. Sampling sites were selected to represent the upstream, midstream, and downstream stretches of the IMUS River, spread among 5 municipalities, cities: Municipality of Sinang, City of Dasmariñas, City of IMUS, City of Bacoor, and Municipality of Kawit. The sampling stations were set in the middle and in lower boundary of each municipality or city. Based on the available maps prepared by the Department of Forestry and Environmental Science of Cavite State University and the National Irrigation Administration, the following barangays were identified as the sampling stations locations. The sampling stations in the upstream stretches, Barangay Tiga and Sabutan Sila, and Barangay Sampag in the city of Dasmariñas, and 1 midstream sampling station, Salican 1 in the city of Dasmariñas, are in areas where the IMUS River is narrow with a strong current. The other midstream sampling stations are the Tugi and Luma in the city of IMUS, and sampling stations in the downstream stretches of the river, Barangay Burburista and Binakayan in Kawit, and Barangay Laboratory and Sinapugasan in the city of Bacoor, are covered areas with a wide and slow-flowing water. Water samples were collected for the quantification and characterization of microplastics. A 0.20 millimeter nest size plankton net with a diameter of 20 centimeter and amount area of 0.0314 square kilometer was used. The plankton net was set against the water flow near the surface, and the flow rate and the type of filtration were determined for the computation. 3 water samples from the touch were collected from each sampling station. Water samples were stored in the bottles with polytetrapolylfluoroethylene coated screw cap and were subjected to preparation for microplastic analysis in the Biological Sciences Laboratory of DLSU in the city of Dasmariñas, Cavite. The water samples were analyzed quantitatively and qualitatively using a visual identification standard procedure provided by the Norwegian Institute for Water Research with some limitations. For water sample analysis, all glassware were rinsed with distilled water before use, and all equipments were kept covered to prevent contaminations. Each water sample was pre-filtered through a 5 mm sieve. Following this, it underwent a 24-hour digestion process through the addition of pre-filtered concentrated nitrogen peroxide to remove organic debris. Microplastics were separated from the water sample through vacuum filtration with membrane filters with a pore size of 0.2 microturn. For the quantitative analysis of microplastics, numerical concentrations were determined. The membrane filters with suspected microplastics were oven dried at 40 degrees Celsius for 1 to 2 hours. The membrane filter with microplastics was examined under scanning photomicroscope, with plastic items counted and classified into fibers, fragment, both irregular and polygonal, and microbeads. Each membrane filter was examined in a transversal fashion side to side so that no particles were missed. Now, for the preparation of qualitative analysis for chemical characterization of microplastic, the device guide of EVA for visual identification was used. Particles that were suspected of being plastic were isolated, and they are moved with forceps to petri dishes containing plastics of similar type, leaving the particles that appear to be non-plastic or contaminated. Now, the isolated microplastics were analyzed using FTIR in transmission mode. The material composition of the microplastic samples, such as polyethylene or the PET, polystyrene (PS), or polypropylene (PP), were identified based on the FTIR spectrum of the sample. The relative amounts as to percent PET, percent PS, and percent PP were taken from the ratio of their respective peak areas based on a standard sample. Microplastics were classified based on types from all sampling stations along the IMUS river. Now, in both sampling mats, microplastics show a mostly increasing concentration going downstream. Most of the sampling sites contain microplastic fibers and unclassified. These are other microplastics in varying proportions. Fibrous microplastics are present in all stations and fragments were detected in every station except in Barangay San Pablo. Now, during the dry months, the most contaminated sites were located in the downstream stretches of the river, from Barangay Tuklong to Barangay Pulverista, Sinigulasan, and they were reported range from 8 to 42 microplastic particles per cubic meter of water. The lowest concentration were reported upstream, ranging from 2 to 6 microplastic particles per cubic meter of water. Overall, microplastic particles were 13% fiber, 19% fragments, 3% microbeads, and 39% others in the dry month samples. Now, almost the same trend was observed for the wet months. Upstream segments of the river reported concentrations ranging from 6 to 13 microplastic particles per cubic meter of water, while downstream segments reported 21 to 43 microplastic particles per cubic meter of water. The exception to a general trend of increasing microplastic going downstream is the first sampling station in Barangay San. This station was near a Cuban settlement and had microplastic concentrations of 5 to 10 particles per cubic meter of water. Overall, in the wet month samples, microplastic particles were 43% fibers, 19% fragments, 4% microbeads, and 34% others. Microplastics were found in all water samples, amounting to 12 cubic meter from all sampling stations for both dry and wet months, with a mean concentration of 12.31.
Sorry to interrupt, we are sorry to that we have to stop the video due to the limited time that we have. So can we go to directly to the conclusion? Okay, please, operator.
Plastics show an increasing concentration going downstream in both the dry and wet ponds. Microplastic fibers were the most common form of microplastic, followed by fragments, classified others, and microbeads. This report gives the following recommendation. Number one is to conduct further research into microplastics in rivers, not only on presence in the water, but also in sediments, along with its effects on aquatic organisms. And of course, a socioeconomic valuation of the IMUS River must also be conducted to assess the economic impact of a lack of protection and conservation that we will have. On behalf of my fellow researchers, Project 2 of Asiana, Dr. Jonathan Review, Dr. Irene Buryu, Dr. Janet Chin, Ms. Geraldine Zamora, and Ms. Janet Bana. We would like to express our gratefulness to the family for believing and supporting us all throughout the conduct of this research. Feisy, Partnership in Environmental Management for the Seas of East Asia, NEVA, Norwegian Institute for Water Research, the additionally on the conduct of Asian-Norwegian Cooperation Project on local capacity building for reducing carbon emission in Asian for Asia 2020-2021. The additionally, Dr. Marco Saez, Vice Chancellor for Academics and Research, Dr. Emmanuel Valero, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research, and Dr. Jenny Chin, Director of University Research Office, for their belief to the researchers' ability and professional competence. Thomas Bell, Manager of the Project Asiana, Rachel Hurley, and Hans Frederick Braden.
So sorry because our time is up. So thank you so much, Mr. Michael, for the amazing presentation. Now let's continue with the second speaker. Is Miss Yesica Cecilia Budiono here with us in Zoom in our Zoom room. If you are there, please open your camera and to microphone. Is there Miss Yesica Cecilia Budiono with us in the Zoom room? Okay, next, Miss Veronica Farrent Widodo. Are you here with us? Okay, we'll move on to Miss Feisy Sisilia Rambitan. Are you here? Okay, next is Miss Fernanda Genoveva Pangemanan. Are you here in the Zoom room? Okay, last. Next is Dr. Rustina Untari, S.A. and S.St. Are you here, Miss? Okay, let's move on, and they will be presenting on the topic of the differences between ECOPRENEUR and regular entrepreneur. So yeah, let's enjoy the YouTube presentation.
Everyone, thank you for the opportunity, and in this nice occasion, we will talk about the difference between entrepreneur and regular entrepreneurship fields, study on the nature of entrepreneurship. We are familiar with the word entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is an activity that involves a person's ability to see existing opportunity and start building a business that is able to provide benefit. In an era that continues to develop, entrepreneurship activities will not only focus on one part, but leverage new idea and innovation, where entrepreneurs not only provide personal benefit and help in maintaining environmental welfare, which is called entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, ECOPRENEUR have the same business spirit, but have different speed. Therefore, we will discuss the difference between these two types of business, namely entrepreneur and ECOPRENEURs. Next is theoretical basis. ECOPRENEUR is a combination of disciplines, and we can combine entrepreneurship, which means environmental as business activities, according to experts. According to Theo and Walton, 2010, ECOPRENEURs are entrepreneurs who are not only concerned with the profits of their business, but also pay more attention to the values that underlie them. And Takia 2002 categories ECOPRENEURs into two categories based on their intentions: social ECOPRENEURs and commercial ECOPRENEURs. Social ECOPRENEURs are said to be individuals who intend to promote environment, impact ideas, technology through and products. Commercial ECOPRENEURs are people who show concern to awareness and consistency in adopting eco-friendly practices. And next is someone who informs According to Soedarini, enterprise is a scientific discipline that studies the value, activities, and behavior of person in facing life's challenges and how to obtain opportunities with various risks that they may face. And according to so, entrepreneurship is the process of creating something else, producing activities, capital, speed, viewers, and satisfaction and personal freedom. Based on the result of this successful business as the owner of population. Because they perform a lot of complex
First, an entrepreneur is someone who has a business that is not only focused on profit, but also on the environment. For example, Mrs. Putri used natural dyes and some organic waste to replace fabricated dyes. So that is entrepreneur is someone who builds or develops a business and is fully responsible for the operation of a business. And number two, entrepreneur usually run their business while maintaining the balance of nature and the environment. The example is elevating the balance of nature, specifically growing grass that are used as raw materials for fabric dyes. He also processes waste from fabric making. And the regular entrepreneur is a business owner. Number three, entrepreneur sustainability. Performance as a core business goal. Market and sustainability. For example, sustainability export, several companies to develop a business, and he also employs local people them to continue their education. Profit are obtained in the large number as a reward for the result of the last number four, ECOPRENEUR that is very close to sustainable entrepreneurship. And for example, businesses who create enough a variety of clothing, models, and colors, so they can form efficient brands. And also, the social media marketing sell on several e-commerce sites. Entrepreneur for regular entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs more often see the exploring of institution with qualitative, not quantitative consideration. And entrepreneur also dare to take a risk, and there are many innovations that are ready to be developed.
During pilot studies, during retail lending, opportunity into process taken to various during retail lending is a business because all the material is study from natural materials such as steel, general, and various others. So through using natural color is also due to arrays of the natures of every due to artificial dyes. In addition, most of the artificial dyes are still important for the use of natural color, also for rescuing soft and natural color. Still mostly she also encouraged local people to help the utility education. Despite study, we also had the opportunity to make memorable friends.
Hi everyone, thank you for the opportunity and
Okay, so thank you so much for our second presenter. We will continue to the last speaker. So this session, we have is Miss Soetji Andari here with us in the Zoom room. Can you please open your camera and test your microphone? So, Dr. Soetji Andari MSc was born in Bandung, and she done her first degree in SPKS Bandung, her second degree and third degree at Gajah Mada University, And she is also a senior researcher in green. And second speaker, Mr. Tyas Raharjo, are you here with us? Mr. Tyas Raharjo, S.St, MA, taken his first degree in STKS Bandung. Dan his second degree at Kebijakan Kesejahteraan UGM, and he is also a senior researcher in green. And the third presenter is Dr. Andeswarto. He took his first degree at Yogyakarta State University. Without further ado, we may watch their YouTube presentation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to see you all. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andari, and my team are Tyas Raharjo, Warto, and Soedarini. We are researchers from National Research and Innovation Agency, or REACT. As you can see on the screen, our topic is eruptive disaster mitigation based on local wisdom on the slope of MERAPI. Between 25 until 26 October 2010, one MERAPI erupted 3 times. 1,000 we are evacuated from 20-kilometer radius around the slopes of the volcano. In the district Pangemanan, especially in Raharjo village, Raharjo village and Agumulyo village. The value of local wisdom is believed to the basics for disaster mitigation before, which aim to explore all cultural traditions, seek social cultural linkage in disaster mitigation, and empower disaster-aware communities. Introduction. This traditional understanding of natural reality leads to the belief that nature provides clues to disaster. The value of traditional local wisdom builds a system of human social culture and behavior into an integral part of the environmental ecosystem, so that environmental sustainability is maintained based on binding customary rules in every procession of the implementation of forest use. The regional autonomy law of 1999, the principle of regional autonomy is to have the authority to organize the interests of the community based on the principles of openness and community participation. The achievement of success should rely on the growth and development of initiative and creativity from the community, both in recognizing problems and needs, formulating goals, planning work programs, implementing activities, and evaluating the result of activities. Formulation of the problem. Based on the descriptive above, discussion formulates the problem in the form of questions, namely, How is the form of local wisdom of rural communities on the slope of Merapi that is utilized in effort to mitigate the eruption disaster? What is the meaning of each form of local wisdom of rural communities on the slope of Merapi in relation to eruption disaster mitigation effort? Research proposes it is known that the form of local wisdom of rural communities on the slope of Merapi is utilized in an effort to mitigate the eruption disaster. It is now the meaning of each form of local wisdom of rural communities on the slope of Merapi in relation to effort to mitigate the eruption disaster. Benefit of research. As input of the central government and various competent institutions is setting policies, the disaster victim management, especially in dealing with natural disaster of volcanic eruption based on local wisdom. It is useful to add the treasury of literature, especially reference to village communities, local wisdom, disaster mitigation, and natural disaster of mountain erosion. Literature review. Local wisdom in disaster mitigation is divided into three parts, namely before the catastrophic eruption, when the catastrophic eruption occurs, and after the eruption of Mount Merapi. Local wisdom before the Merapi eruption is notification of Merapi eruption activity. The challenge of local wisdom lies in its modern form, rather than holding and local wisdom really for young people. The readiness of the road network that function as an evacuation route has a significant impact on the optimization of the evacuation. The purpose of the activity is to create a disaster evacuation model to demonstrate the vulnerability of the road network and improve the efficiency of evacuation routes. For 7 days, everyone moved down the hill in turn. When the eruption occurs, the activity of cantonment, jamming of bamboo or wood are sounding at most an early warning tool when Merapi activity increases. Then, after gathering at the most to choose a car, everyone moves to the gathering place. People in this area order vehicle to transport their families and neighbors. Along with regional autonomy, people in each region need to explore and utilize various dimensions of local wisdom. The existence of form of local wisdom that is explored and utilized by the people of slopes of Merapi in an effort to mitigate and the eruption disaster is important to be studied through the research. After the eruption disaster, local wisdom activities, mutual cooperation activities to help each other among the residents of the eruption victims, raising funds together, help residents in repairing houses, repairing the roads that was buried by eruption in mutual cooperation. Believe in Merapi existence, they still believe that Merapi is blessing because it provides natural resources that can be used to meet their needs even now. People don't want to move. To Jakarta cultural perspective, there will chance to leave the house they live. Natural disaster risk reduction relocated to identify, assess, and monitor disaster risk and implementation and early warning system, using knowledge, innovation, and education to build culture of safety and resilience at all levels, and making disaster reduction national and regional implementation priority. The level of public awareness must be directly proportional to high disaster hazard. People believe in disaster. People believe that disaster can be prevented and can try to save themselves. The community believes that MERAPI has contributed to the local population as a source of life and livelihood. Thanks to its activity to emit incandescent lava that makes the soil fertile, and its eruption is the will of the rule of MERAPI, which needs to be respected. Through local wisdom, customary institutional mechanism, and the role of local leaders can prevent and overcome disaster and create habits of disaster risk reduction through an attitude of life that is friend with nature to deal with disaster. Method. Type of research. This research uses descriptive qualitative research method, descriptive analysis. The research was conducted in Raharjo village, Kepanewon, Cangkringan, Sleman Regency, and to find out the form and meaning of local wisdom on the slope of MERAPI in an effort to mitigate the eruption disaster. It was research subject. People around Raharjo village, Kepanewon, Cangkringan, who know and are able to explain the problem of MERAPI eruption and mitigation.
Okay, sorry.
There are
Okay, but can we go to the conclusion directly? The results.
including local initiative and local technology in the form of religious activity, guidance on Javanese philosophy through education, courtesy, correct Javanese language, establish of them studios, formation of metropat associations, work together, gotong royong, penciptaan raising social fund from public. Local culture, including traditional such as Naguan and Nadan, art Salawatan, Opera and Jatilan expression, always remember and be alert, signaling plan Waspodo. Surrender and Sumara, receive signal in harmony will form a fourth Rukun Agama Santoso.
Okay, go to the conclusion.
Look, Ministry here, Ministry of Education and Culture, Ministry of Tourism and BNPB. Referendum number 13, 2012, the government of Yogyakarta should formulate a socialization program involving the education of fish through educator, the social service, and regional disaster management agency who assigns district social welfare worker, disaster preparedness cadets from Tagana, quick reaction team or TRC, community social worker or PSM, disaster preparedness village or KSB, Kampung Siaga Bencana, and disaster resilience village, Desa Tangguh Bencana. Thank you for your attention and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, so thank you so much for the amazing presentation to our presenter. Let's now open the Q&A session. May I remind you that the Q&A will roughly last only around 15 minutes. So let's see if there any question from our Zoom group? Is there any question probably? You may raise your hand. Oh, okay. There's a question in the chat box. A question from Miss Soedarini. A question for Dr. Guyamin. How strategic is the IMUS River in Philippines, and especially with regard to the source of drinking water or seafood production or catching water species animal area? Maybe Dr. Guyamin can answer.
Good afternoon to our students. First of all, IMUS River actually is encompassing about different municipalities from a higher elevation to the lower elevation. In the past, it has become the source of usable water. They can use it in their agriculture, even at home. But due to pollution, it has become unusable. Although there are some parts in which there are some locals who actually catch fish for consumption, they can do that. But again, due to pollution, the use of that has become lost. Okay, when it comes to seafood production, on the lower part, it is connected with Manila Bay, and Manila Bay is actually site for production of different seashells like mussels. It has become an important area for them. And for the water species, animal area, still there are still some animals, although this is not the scope of our study, but through something we actually encounter different species. I think it's worth investigating if this species actually reflects the quality of the river. We have another presentation actually in another room that discusses the quality of the water.
So basically, the pollution destroy our nature, right? Okay, so Ms. Soedarini, is that answering your question?
Yeah, thank you so much for the answer.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Soedarini. The next question is from Zoom again. It is a question for Ms. Soetji, the third speaker. The question is, if I were correct, during the disaster of MERAPI in 2010, the very famous local leader who was called Rambitan had become the victim, who his body never been found. I wonder if that fact was correct. So, Ms. Soetji, you may answer the question. Or maybe Ms. Soetji's partner. Mr. Yesica or Dr. Wiswanto.
So, Tyas Ekoran.
Tidak tersurat kecil nggak ada. Suci
Oh, I think our speaker is not present in both Zoom and in the room. I'm so sorry, Miss Soedarini. Since the speaker is not present, I think we can speak. Okay. So, is there any other question from our member in the room? Justine, please.
So I would like to comment on the speakers that we have this afternoon, and their presentations are all great. So I just have one question with regards to our second speaker. So I'm very much interested in the topic about the eco and ECOPRENEUR. I hope she's here in the Zoom. I just want to know if
one of the speakers
so with regards to the ECOPRENEUR, so I really amazed that nowadays they are considering not only the profit for their product but also for the ecological effect of those products. So I just want to know if based on their study, is there any difference with regards to the expenses and the profit if you are going to consider the eco-friendly materials to be used in your product?
So you were asking about whether there is a difference with the expenses and the profit between both eco and the normal one. Okay. So can is Veronica Farrent open mic, please, the microphone, and answer the question, which is directed to your group. Or perhaps the partner, Miss Fernanda Genoveva. Are you there? Maybe last call for Miss Veronica and Miss Fernanda. Are you there with us? Apakah Saudari Veronica Farrent dan Saudari Fernanda Genoveva ada bersama kami di Zoom room? Boleh buka kamera mungkin dan mic karena ada yang menanyakan pertanyaan. I guess they are, so they have some problem with their connection or something. I'm so sorry, Miss Jane. So since our time is up, probably operator can show the evaluation form. There's an evaluation form to be filled by everyone in the Zoom room and also the room. This is an evaluation form for evaluating the presenters that has been presenting their topics. We will also send the link into the chat box in the Zoom. We would like also to remind our reactor to open the link to vote for the vice president of the day. We will remind you at the end of the session. Is the link in the chat box already? Oh, okay. It is in the chat box, so everyone can put information form for the presenters. So
Okay, now we move to the second session of the presentation. Okay, for the first presenter is Miss Yovita Indrayati as MU. Okay, thank you. Miss Yovita Indrayati will present about Indonesian state's sovereignty over scientific resources in population area, right? Okay. Miss Yovita Indrayati is a lecturer at the Faculty of Law of the Veronica Catholic University and a doctoral student in the Faculty of Law at S.St. University. Okay. For Miss Yovita, you are not already sent the video, so can you present your presentation on the Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Yovita Indrayati, myself, Professor Dr. Igusti Ayutthaya Andari dari S.St, my professor, my promoter, my promoter of my dissertation, Professor Dr. Leku Karjoko S.St, my professor, as co-promoter. I will present my paper, Indonesian State Sovereignty over Genetic Resources in Globalization Era. This content, this paper, are five subjects. First, introduction. Second, research subject. Third, method. Fourth, result and discussion. And fifth, conclusion. Introduction. Indonesia is a mega biodiversity country. Of the 40,000 species of medicinal plants in the world, 30,000 of them are in Indonesia. Genetic resources have economic potential for people's welfare, challenges in the advancement of science and technology. For example, biotechnology, in drug technology, we call biosimilarity. Genetic resources have not been excellent when we compare to mining. Genetic resources is good, this is powerful. Genetic resources is good, is powerful, but has received less attention than mining for gold, oil, and other minerals. Oil involves black gold, but genetic resources is good, this is powerful. Utilizing genetic resources means saving money for this country. Maybe Indonesia could become the richest country in the world if it could take advantage of genetic resources. For example, Kuracang is Japanese language. Kuracang, I don't have translated in English. Kuracang, ginger, source of leaves, Sambiloto leaves, Dewa leaves, Japanese language, fish spore, worm, bacteria, virus, etc. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the demand for supplement for endurance increased significantly. Based on data from the Ministry of Trade, the total export value of Indonesian herbal medicine in 2021 reached $40.5 billion, which means there was an increase of 10.96% when compared to 2019. Like this, bacteria, virus, worm, dewa leaves, hormone fish, ikan gabus, in Indonesia language, ikan gabus, kuracang in Wonosobo, very famous, kuracang, Theo, ginger, and Sambiloto leaves, like this. For Indonesia, this is mainly money for Indonesia. You can take dollars, yen, bayar, euro, rupiah. This is money for genetic resources. I will talk about in law, legal sources or regulation in international law and national law. In international law, CBD, because CBD or United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, Nagoya Protocol, Cartagena Protocol, etc. But in national law, environmental regulation, intellectual property rights regulation, health regulation, research and education regulation, etc. In Indonesia, many regulations. This problem in Indonesia, genetic resources are not definitely imaged, but will be exhibited or lost because it is no longer interesting. Genetic resources are stolen or sent off without true permission. For example, through visiting certain area, e-commerce, it has not been specially regulated in Indonesia.
the consistency in regulation. This is problem in Indonesia, where we talk about genetic resources. We what's like football, organizing and utilizing genetic resources like playing fast football. If you are serious, then you will be harmful for the country and the people. Like this, like football. The challenge for Indonesia. The challenge for Indonesia, globalization, information technology, and biotechnology. But in other side, state sovereignty for genetic resources. Second, research subject. Okay, I'm sorry. Research subject. The first, how is the sovereignty of the Indonesian state in protecting genetic resources in the globalization era and technological advance? And second, what is the solution for Indonesia in applying the principle of the sovereignty in protecting the genetic resources for the welfare of the people? Method. Literature or conceptual review of the actual issue. This article is a type of legal research to find legal principles and doctrines as material for consideration effectively the protection of genetic resources. This article consists of statement approach, case approach, and conceptual approach. For result and discussion. Result and discussion in this paper. The first, the principle of state sovereignty is stated in various sources of international law as a result of international agreements. Second, the principle of state sovereignty in the national legal system describes the phase of Indonesian state sovereignty over genetic resources. The fourth paragraph of the preamble of the 1945 Constitution and Article 33 of the 1945 Constitution become the philosophical and constitutional basis for protecting genetic resources and state sovereignty over natural resources in Indonesia. The globalization era is a challenge for Indonesia in protecting genetic resources because the spirit of globalization is economy for capital. Regulation on genetic resources do not fully reflect state sovereignty in Indonesia. Indonesia does not yet have specific regulation that fully protect genetic resources. Conclusion. First, regulation in Indonesia state regulate or relate to genetic resources need to be revised so that they are based on the philosophy of the nation and the constitution, especially the provision of Article 33. Indonesia, the second, Indonesia must immediately have regulation of genetic resources as the base of the state sovereignty over natural resources and for people's welfare. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Yovita, for the full presentation. Okay, now we go to the next presenter. Is Dr. Rustina here? Okay, then Gilbertus Romero Diaz, Wibisono. Okay, thank you. And then Gabriel Calista. Okay. And then Ecclesia Monica Tudena. Okay. And then Unica Rutuweni. Okay. Gabriel Calista is a student from Sugiyoharto Catholic University located in Semarang, Central Java. She is a part of the management study program in the economic faculty. Veronica, she also actively participates in the student activity unit, in which case the one that she follows in SAP. And then the second is Gilbertus Romero Diaz Wibisono. He is an active student at Sugiyoharto Catholic University Semarang. Currently, he is halfway through the 5th semester. In here, he served as a member of the student executive board for this faculty, the economics and business faculty. And then the third is Ecclesia Monica Tudena. She is a student at the Lasali Catholic University Manado, who is currently participating in a student exchange program at Sugiyoharto Catholic University Semarang. And then Unica Rutuweni, she is an active student at the Lasali University Manado also, who is currently participating in student exchange at Sugiyoharto University. And then Rustina Untari, she is a lecturer at the Faculty of Economics and Business and the head of the Center for Global Studies at Sugiyoharto Catholic University, Semarang, Indonesia. He holds a doctorate in industrial management from the Farrent Institute of Technology, Indonesia. They will present about the application of ECOPRENEUR and natural color batik psychotry, right? Okay, sorry. You will present about the application of ECOPRENEUR and natural color batik psychotry. Okay, let's we enjoy the video presentation.
Morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Today, our group will be presenting a case about sustaining a balanced environment with simple-based natural diet. Here is our reference. Starting from Gabriel Calista, then me, myself, Gilbertus Romero Diaz Wibisono, Ecclesia MERAPI, and lastly, Unica Rutuweni. Here is today's topics that we will analyze together. The first one is what is money. Second one is what is entrepreneur. The third one is what is simultaneous natural diet. And finally, how does it operate?
Now I'm going to talk about the history of batik. So batik is one of the main culture of Indonesia. It's an art of trying signatures on public to make clothes. Batik in Indonesia is closely linked to the reform of Majapahit Kingdom and the spirit of Islamic in Java. Batik art still widely in Indonesia, especially on the island of Java at the end of the 18th century until the 19th century. In some historical report, the development of batik can also be found in the era Mataram Sultanate, Surakarta Sultanate, and Yogyakarta Sultanate.
What's different? The balance act that who have decided to pursue the environment and the business. To me, the business has already the system in the surrounding environment. Therefore, companies that want to get the benefit must apply following the principle in their business.
And now we're going to talk about that economics quickly. The economics is a company used on the common basis of entrepreneurship. Unlike many other entrepreneurs, the founder of the economics chooses to be an entrepreneur on her own card. She is well known social and influence business after Its business only use eco-friendly materials for its production, and because of that, the thing around the industry is renowned for their safe for environment. When started by Farrent, Mrs. Petrie saw a potential for making business increase and market opportunity. Especially, Mrs. Petrie explained that the business revenue has been growing continuously for the past 2 years. People are encouraged and curious about the product in as of presentation. Mrs. Petrie can raise even more awareness towards the environment and encourage her patrons to help protect the environment. And now we move to the next survey.
So, how does it operate? To be called an eco-preneurship business, a company must undergo a certain cycle called the closed loop. And as you can see right here, this natural dynamic cycle is exactly what we call a closed loop. The first part of the loop is eco-friendly materials. The materials used by Stipulis natural dynamic are eco-friendly materials obtained through a special method. These materials that are no longer used by other businesses or the products of their own plants. Clothes and natural dyes. The cloth used by Stipulis natural dye fabric as the base of its fabric is a type of cloth that doesn't contain any plastic at all. And as the name implies, Stipulis natural dye fabric obtains its dyes through processing materials available in nature. Of course, the materials used should not be arbitrary. The colors that emerge from the objects should also look soft and natural. The color resistance must also be tested first. It could be said that natural dyes will stick more strongly to this type of cloth rather than the one that contains plastic. Examples of the material used to make dyes are coffee that produces the black color, turmeric that produces a bright yellow color, Soeji used to produce green color, mahogany produces the brown color, and lastly, grapefruit is produced the purple color. Next up is the tool and machinery used in the production. The first one is stamping. There is also a small furnace, paintbrush, and clothes sewing area made using used drums. Also, the hammer, wax for waxing, used paint bucket used as a container, clothesline, pot for boiling oil, firewood, and as well as other supporting materials. To become an ecopreneur, a business also needs to follow this 4 principles that we have already mentioned before. Those are reuse, recycle, and upcycle. And here is some examples of what Stipulis natural dye fabric has done to follow those principles. The first one is reduce. Stipulis natural dye fabric reduce the use of plastics to basically nothing. None of the materials that they use contain any plastic. Even the packaging is free from plastic. Instead, they use alternatives to make sure that the products are as eco-friendly as it could be. Next one is reuse. The practice of reusing something in Stipulis natural dye fabric is shown when they reuse the white space that emerges from a process called Moderator, which will be explained later, is a Japanese term, and it is to make patterns for new products again. The third one is recycle. Stipulis natural dye fabric recycles the unused plants, like the pieces of wood and leaves, from the rotation process into fertilizer. Not only that, they also have the pressure system made from a layer of charcoal hunks, reedy rocks, smaller rocks, and sand. This system is used to filter wastewater from the coloring or fixation process and make it as clear as drinkable water. And lastly is upcycle. Stipulis natural dye fabric owner in Untari will personally get loan on any eco-friendly waste from the local community that can be processed into materials for products like accessories, keychain, bags, and much more.
These are the list of production
sections in single-phase material and plastic. First is plastic technique or training manual. Plastic technique is a technique of giving various and distinctive color vectors to the cloth using wax. This process requires a high level of precision and accuracy because it's still done manually. This is the process of technique plastic. First is heat the wax using a small furnace. Second, wait until the wax melts. Third, after the wax is fully melted and it feels hot enough to put some of it inside the chanting. Lastly, use the chanting to form patterns on the cloth using the wax. Stamp technique. Stamp technique is a technique that uses a tool in the form of a cloth stamp. On average, this process is faster because this technique uses a tool in the form of a stamp board that has been prepared to form a pattern. The resulting pattern is always going to be straight. This is the process of stamp technique. First step is modern process. Modern process is a process where the plastic cloth is soaked for 3 days in chemical material called TRO to increase the endurance of the colors. Second, the plastic cloth will be cut according to the needed size. After that, it will be cleaned first. Third, then the plastic cloth will be given patterns. This process is carried out according to the set schedule. Fourth, the plastic will be drawn using eco-friendly materials like oil leaves, woods, roots, and etc. Although, before that, the cloth is given wax to brush the color during fixation. Fifth, fixation is a step done to give more density to the colors by giving them at least 5 times. The more you give it, the better the result will be. Some materials that are used to give color on plastic cloth. First is Budiono gives darker color. Second is color stone gives darker green color. Third, Tyas gives brown or lighter color. Six, wait until it dries out, then roll it to have remove the wax color. Roll is a technique of removing wax from plastic cloth by dissolving it in a solution of natural dyes derived from Budiono stone, power stone, and alone. The cloth is sensitive, so try not to put it under direct sunlight because it can make the color fade.
Next, the last word about the risk. Industrial risk can sometimes result in negative impact towards surrounding environment and communities. Problem like this also occurs due to ignorance of some interpreters. Because of that, as an ECOPRENEUR, ERUPTIVE takes various actions towards production activities, in utilizing these plants from rice production of compost, processing used waste loading to be used in making trees, performing filtering in order to preserve the environment by making filtering fats, using layers of hard charcoal, large rocks, small rocks, and sand to filter water waste, fixation, and waste from the refining process.
That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything to ask, feel free to do so. And we will all hope to see you all again very soon. Okay? Yeah. Morning, good.
Okay, thank you for the wonderful presentation for the Dr. Rustina, Andari, and team. Okay, next we go to the third presenter. Is Engineer CS Martani here? Okay, and then Dr. Engineer M. Kusyanto MT. Okay, they are here. So Engineer CS Martani MT is the architecture department, faculty of design and architecture of Catholic University of Indonesia. And Dr. Engineer M. Pusianto FT from Faculty of Architecture of Guyamin University, Indonesia. So they are going to present about ecological-based tectonic plate building, case of Osing Kambiran Tribes Cultural House in Pangemanan. So please, operator, is there any video? Okay. They are not submitted video yet. So okay, we go directly to the Q&A session. So is there any question from the Zoom room? Okay, the question from Ibu Soedarini. Dear PhD candidate in Dayati, I get a legal question. You mentioned that the genetic resources of Indonesia were stolen by people from overseas or other country. I just wondering if those people from overseas got the material by buying in local market. Do you think that the term of stolen is fair for them? Don't you think the problem is more the national regulation in Indonesia itself that is not strong enough to secure the genetic resources?
Thank you, ma'am, for your question. If they buy from market, they don't store from Indonesia because they buy from the market. I agree with you, ma'am. The big problem in Indonesia is the business regulation for protecting genetic resources. Sometimes the foreigner came to Indonesia as a tourist, but they take or get sample genetic resources and they bring to Malaysia because they are researchers. They are not tourists, pure tourists, because they are researchers. So they can take sample and they can to observe like this. In other side, Indonesia people is very polite. Yeah. Oh, okay. You can take this. You can take this because Indonesian people don't realize about genetic resources is important for Indonesia people, for your people. Indonesia is very polite people. Polite people and very polite people, so very open to everyone. So yeah, you can find this. This is problem for Indonesia. The major legal or regulation is weakness. The knowledge of people is weakness. So very big problem, I think, in Indonesia if we talk about genetic resources. Thank you, Ms. Soedarini, for your question.
Okay, for Ibu Soedarini, is there any question?
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, I just consider about the people from the abroad. If they are called as a stolen something from Indonesia, maybe they will not happy about that. So yeah, so be fair about that. That's my consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, maybe the people also will give a question or comments maybe. Okay.
So I would like to comment, Mom, for your heart. Because we really have the heart to protect the genetic resources that you have here in Indonesia. And really, you are so generous enough to share everything, and even the genetic resources, which we unintentionally, sometimes share it to the others. And I really commend your work, Mom, that you really call the attention of the policy making body so that they could be able to create policy that will protect your genetic resources. So your work or your presentation was really good, and I can feel your heart that you really need to protect what you have here in Indonesia. So with regards to the work as a reactor, I would like also to commend the work of the other researchers and all. But I think I have a question a while ago that was not answered, so maybe I think I could give the question to them because I think they have the same presentation. So you both presented about the ECOPRENEUR, and I really commend that you are researching on the topic that not only interest on the profit but also on the economic, ecological effect of the product. But the question is, I'm just curious if have the is it a company that the one that produced the cloth with the body? Is it a company or
there was a special vendor that so the story that we got told when we were there a few weeks ago is that she either got the clothes from a special vendor that she has, like it's a partnership program with a special vendor. She really trusted the vendor because it was a very the vendor is very caring towards the human resources. Like they treat the employee very well in that. Therefore, that's why she specifically chose that vendor and she's been using that vendor since the last time. So, yeah. Some of the clothes also they also got some of the from nearby organization or like nearby that providing with some of the
compare the profit and the expenses, the difference of like we have the commercially available materials and you have this eco-friendly materials, but when you use it in the cloth, is there any difference with regards to the profit? More expensive, like if I will buy your
think about the prices. I think it's the same with the normal that we usually see in the store, right? Nothing is that the materials is just a bit different, but the prices doesn't really fix. It's still the same market cost as well. Some people from overseas have this series of the same style of fabric, but with the more eco-friendly materials. That is one is more brand in the overseas. Everyone wants their stuff to be eco-friendly. That's why.
Thank you, Gilbertus Romanius Divisional for the answer. Okay, there is one more question from Nadia Rizky Aryani. Dear Dr. Rustina Untari, have you evaluated the GWP of C23 natural diet? Because some items contain ecological friendly components, but nevertheless emit a lot of GHG. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Nadia Rizky Aryani, Dr. Rustina Untari will discuss the answer first. So can you wait for a moment, maybe? Or maybe from the others from Zoom to give another question. Okay, so I think there is one more question for Dr. Rustina. So please.
So I'm Shirley, I'm the moderator in the room. I would like to ask, I'm a battery enthusiast actually. I know that eco product usually related to something expensive, like probably like what Miss Jane said. And I know plastic itself is expensive, so expensive plus expensive. So I want to know what's your response to this. That's all. Thank you.
We have 16 minutes. You can answer. Don't worry, we are able to make the funny answer. Or maybe the people in the Zoom group want to give question to Ms. Yovita or the Dr. Rustina again. Please type in the Zoom group, or maybe you can use the facility raise hand. Okay, please, Ms. Soedarini, do you want to give any question? Sorry, Soedarini.
Yes.
Do you want to give any question?
Excuse me, I cannot hear clearly your voice.
You want to give any question or comments, maybe?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, meanwhile, the team still discussing the question from Ms. Nadia. Will reply to the chat box. So I think we are going to the next session of the presentation.
Okay, so let's move on to the third session. The previous question will be replied by the team in the chat box to solve the questions, right? So, okay, so the third session, our first presenter will be Miss Sri Purwanti, S.St. KMURC. Is Miss Sri with us in Zoom? No? Okay, since Miss Sri Purwanti hasn't submitted her video as well, right? Yeah. So we might skip and we will go to the next presenter. The next presenter is Miss Anissa Indah Pratiwi, S.A. Is Miss Anissa with us? Is Miss Anissa here? Can you hear me? I think I see your name here.
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you. Okay, thank you, Miss Anissa. So Miss Anissa is a staff at BRIN since 2022. She started her career as laboratory analyst in a private company, then turned into an environmental laboratory analyst in Florida Emergency. She has studied environmental engineering at Sahid University, Jakarta. Currently, she is involved in the sustainability assessment, eco-design, and industrial ecology research group at the Center for Sustainable Production System Research and Life Cycle Assessment. So let's watch her YouTube presentation.
Morning, good afternoon, or good evening.
The effectiveness of using ECOPRENEUR to support sustainable development goals per year. Let me introduce you to the authors of the paper who comes from the there are Guyamin, Guyamin, Cecilia, and Andari. Today is about
introduction, thought, result and discussion, and the last is conclusion. One objective classically based on objects that are often used in shopping center, and so on. Plastic grocery bags affect the environment, should not be recycled, that potentially polluting the environment's air, water, and soil. In early 2019, the government of Indonesia initiated the National Plastic Action Partnership in tackling plastic pollution and has already started to be implemented by reducing or replacing the use of plastic waste. This is evidenced by the issuance of regulation in a number of regions regarding the ban on the use of single-use plastic bags in a number of shopping centers, supermarkets, and traditional markets. The following are examples of eco-friendly bags. However, there is an important point that is always forgotten, namely regarding the environmental impact resulting from the process of making this product. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to analyze the appropriate eco-friendly bag used in Indonesia to support the acceleration of the implementation of SDGs number 30 in Indonesia. The study is using a qualitative research method based on document studies. The research subject of this study is all articles describing comparative life cycle assessment from eco-friendly bags in terms of material and environmental impact. The criteria for study papers are articles written in the recent 10 years. Research of reviewing the environmental impact of various types of grocery bags has also been carried out in several countries. Summary of the frequency of grocery bag materials, including eco-friendly bags, is shown in figure below. The types of material that are most often studied are HDPE bags, bio-based plastic bags, and paper bags. Meanwhile, research on jute bag nylon, cardboard box, and rucksack is still limited considering their frequent use. The answer is then just to the eco-friendly bags that are commonly used in Indonesia. An explanation of the material, manufacturing process, and environmental impact of each eco-friendly bag that commonly used in Indonesia is as follows. The first is paper. Here is the manufacturing process of paper. Paper bags are created from the pulpwood. This enables research that can interest. Most of research concludes that paper has environmental impact compared to other materials. Second is paper. Due to the significant use of water, fertilizer, and chemicals. Paper bags have high potential environmental impact as compared with using plastic bag HDPE, especially at the cotton production stage. The third materials is bioplastic. Here is the manufacturing process of bioplastic, which comes from cassava starch as an example. Most of research conclude that bioplastic bags have less environmental impact compared to other materials, especially for biodegradable, co-polyester, and cornstarch-based thermoplastic materials, and etc. The fourth is polypropylene. We usually call it spoon-burn bags, where the manufacturing process starts from the crude oil, then a refining process is carried out to become polypropylene powder, which is one of the plastic materials but not pure from plastic pellet. And here is the environmental impact of polypropylene. by Andari et al. And the last is polyester. Polyester fibers are woven to create plastic bags. These polyester fibers, which are often thinner and lighter than original polymer, and are generated by the processing of the other polymer types, produce an extremely light and foldable multiple-use bag. Research on polyester bag is still rarely done, but according to Stanford, polyester bag has the lowest environmental impacts, except for persistent off-grid material. Result of several eco-friendly materials conversely Victoria with several virgin countries, and one of the recommendations is using an eco-friendly bag in Indonesia. The 5 material version bags were analyzed based on previous studies, and bio-based plastic material has the lowest global warming potential value compared to other materials. Utilization of bio-based plastic material can be considered as a strategy to overcome environmental issues in achieving greenhouse gas emission reduction. Eco-friendly bags with appropriate and effective materials from waste and emission aspect will help achieve SDGs point 13, where this point relate to greenhouse gas produced by industry, as well as reducing the waste cluster from the use of inappropriate materials. Among the 5 types of material used in Indonesia are reviewed from various journals. From various alternative plastic bags we compared based on the value of global warming potential, it was found that bio-based plastic has the lowest GWP value. We also proposed several suggestions, including developing degradable bag technology, and then the government proposes or other incentives, encouraging people to use shopping bags. And the last, which is main point of our suggestion, is research on LCA of eco-friendly bag innovation in Indonesia is also expected to be carried out, considering that such studies are rarely found. Hopefully, our studies can be a start to do future research. Thank you so much for your interest and attention. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to open up the discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss.
Hello everyone, my name is Andari. First of all, I'd like to thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Anissa Indefati, for the wonderful presentation. Now, let's move on to the last speaker, which is Miss Christina Dewi S.A. and accounting CACPA. Are you here? Okay. Next, another speaker in this team is Centauri Herjeni SDS MSN. Are you here? Miss Centauri Herjeni. Okay, since Miss Christine and Miss Centauri hasn't submitted their video as well, we would like to call again on our first speaker. Perhaps if she comes late in the Zoom room, Miss Sri Purwanti stay. ERUPTIVE, are you present? in Zoom? Okay, since there are no other presenter and there are no video as well, we may proceed to our Q&A session. There is a question in the chat box in the Zoom. It is from Miss Soedarini to the presenter of ECOPRENEUR. Dear the presenter of ECOPRENEUR, I have two questions. Okay, so the first question is, don't you think that eco-material bag made from cassava might be a threat for food security? Her note is, no, cassava is raw food, even for producing tapioca. And the second question, the challenge of eco bag is its price that can be 10 times higher than conventional plastic. Do you have any idea to reduce the pricing? So please, Ms. Anissa Indafratini, to answer the questions.
Hello. Sorry, can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Soedarini, for the question. First, about the eco-material baked meat from cassava might be a threat for food security. Based on our study, we only focus on environmental impacts, so we haven't already studied about the food security. And for the second, we need to have a cooperation with stakeholders and government to discuss about the price that can be 10 times higher than conventional plastic. Thank you.
Okay, so is that answering your question, Ms. Soedarini?
Yeah, well, so I think it's more take home work, yeah, because we cannot just say that our focus in environment, but then we don't care about the food safety, food security, I mean. So yeah, we have to consider about that also. And to make the price cheaper, it's really not that easy because the material is also, let's say, it's more expensive, and also the process also more complex. Yeah, that's the problem, I think. So it's still long away just to use the eco bag. Thank you. That is my comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Soedarini and Ms. Anissa. Is there any more question, perhaps from the room? Perhaps our reactor wants to give some comments? Yes, Ms. Jane, please.
Thank you so much, Ma, for your very interesting and very timely topic that you have shared today. So nowadays, I said, it's not only the problem in Indonesia, but also in the Philippines and maybe in the entire world, that we have to really reduce the use of plastic and, if possible, not to use it anymore because of its environmental impact. So I really commend your work, and I hope that you will continue working on this one, and also just like our first Mount Soedarini, so we also have to consider the food security also. So that your topic is really timely and very interesting. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jane. It's definitely plastic is everyone's concern, and it is a big problem for everyone. So yeah, it seems that the previous team has answered the question in the chat box. So, is there any other, before we give the chance to the team to perhaps since we have time, if they want to explain. And before that, is there any other question for the current presenter, Ms. Ansa Indafani? Is there any more question that anyone wants to? Okay, since there's no more question, I'd like to read first the to explain yourself or okay.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for the question. When we went to the natural site party civil base production, we here a few years ago, our group didn't do evaluation towards the GWP because of the time crunch here. So from what we can gather, from what we said, is that about the progress, there is in fact firewood being used in the production system that can still make an impact because of the pollution that we can produce, although it is very minimal. But other than that, simple natural therapy doesn't contain or use any chemical or resources that can be dangerous towards the environment.
Okay, so that's to answer Ms. Nadia's question in the previous session. Is that answering your question, Ms. Nadia, or do you want to add some more? Okay, thank you, Mr. Gilbert, for your answer, since it is, So, I'd like to ask, what about my question, the previous one? So, what is your response to the, since eco product is usually labeled as expensive, and plastic itself is also expensive since it is an art. So, what is your response to this?
Specifically for this product, specifically for plastic one, product. So in this case, specifically, natural farming, we did some research towards the prices and from the stories that we got from people who myself, is that the prices are surprisingly very similar towards the other plastic that is being sold in the market. Right? Normally, plastic can be sold for around either the expensive one is like 50 or $80 maybe, and then more comes like that to $50. And the price is good. The example of the plastic is very similar towards passion with values, I think they will not give up like the part of the passion that can be done because maybe the materials that Cecilia use well making the values the clothes itself is still very environmentally values and the price itself of the price is still the same as the body that is not like can see from the market. So, what's the I think that his company is doing a very good job on balancing the prices and the value that the company gives towards the environment.
Thank you so much. That's very interesting to know since yeah, it is good to know that but it is more friendly to our environment through this brand, right? Okay, so it seems that there is another question in the room, so please listen.
Thank you. We always talk about product should be eco-friendly, but I think product that eco-friendly is more expensive than common food, than common product. What do you think about this?
Normally, see like the market and stuff. Usually, the prices are more expensive than other. I think we have another story. Even though the prices is still very similar, see, it would be said that the market that they're going for is rather more specific because the people that care about the environment, while still also willing to fashionable clothes or fashionable habits. And that's what people do. Way how to handle getting more sales towards the government. Yes, it is in fact that most of the products that is being sold by the market is like more expensive.
This is problem.
Yeah, it is
Problem every country.
We want to get towards the better environmental products, but I know the prices of those stuff is more expensive. Non-friendly materials we have in the market. So it is in fact to have.
Thank you so much for the discussion. Last, okay, also our actors, something to say.
So good afternoon, everybody. Okay. So I think I just want to react to the question that maybe we're going to spend more on doing that, but it's not always the money. It's more on how we care for the environment. We can always sacrifice, and if we sacrifice that cost, maybe the return will be more than that. So since we are taking care of the environment, maybe in return our children, even the grandchildren will benefit from that. So it's not actually that expensive anymore. So basically that's it. So and it actually justifies what we spend.
Thank you so much, Mr. I believe education is very important then, right? Since without the education, we won't think that way. Like it's just like thinking about prices and all. But with education, that keeping our environment eco-friendly and all will also benefit for our children and our future. Okay, thank you so much for everyone for the our members also in the Zoom. Thank you for the questions, and so let's close the Q&A session. Before we close our session, we would like to remind our presenter to click in and vote in the link that has been provided for the best presenter, which sorry, I would like to remind our dear reactors to click in the link that has been provided to vote in for the best presenter. And also we also have a declaration form that needs to be filled. And operator, please share the link in the chat room, maybe. Or you can, yeah, this is the link to the evaluation form, or maybe later we can post it in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, and also for everyone. For everyone. So everyone can fill in the evaluation form. And next, is it posted already? So it is already posted in the chat box. You can check it and yeah. Next, we would like to give to our presenters a token of appreciation. To Mr. Michael, to Miss Yesica Cecilia Budiono, to Miss Veronica Widodo, to Miss Feisy Cecilia Rambitan, to Miss Fernanda Genoveva Pangemanan, to Dr. Rustina Untari S.St, to Dr. Soetji Andari M.Sc, to Tyas Raharjo S.St, to Dr. Andeswarto, okay, and the certificate will be, e-certificate will be sent through your email. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the session. We all thank you for participating actively. We hope new insights and new collaboration have been found as one of the results of today's session. We would like to remind you, if you haven't shown your attendance, please fill in the attendance in the bit.ly form that should be provided in the chat room. Yeah. And we are sorry if there are any misspelling in the names of the speakers or the wrong pronunciations. Okay, so the attendance is up. The attendance link is up in the Zoom chat box. And thank you once again for participating. We hope to see you again tomorrow in another interesting and intriguing plenary and parallel session. We sincerely hope you will continue to have a fruitful day. Thank you and have a good day.
See you tomorrow.